Well, my friend.
Good evening.
I mean, this has been a packed show today.
Yes, sir.
And you're talking about a large continent here with a whole lot of news. You got 4 big stories for us. Let's talk about them.
Okay. What shall we start with?
Well,
Shall we start with Liberia?
Absolutely.
Okay, so there's a twinge of good news coming out of Liberia because normalcy, in some sense, is returning. So for a very long time, people have not been able to do things like get married in public and have birthday parties and stuff. And as of last weekend, people are having weddings again, being able to go out and be with people, not wash hands before they go into stores. So that's really, really been a wonderful thing for a lot of couples who postponed their marriages because they could not gather in public places.
Well, I guess the question, Frankie, I would have to ask is about the threat. I mean, there still is a threat there. So you think people are reacting loosely too soon?
No, I think what people are doing is saying that there is a virus, but life doesn't stop in the way that it had for the last couple of months. People now know what to do. They know they have to be very, very careful. And so they are going on with life as usual. In addition to the entire country is going to have elections next month. So they're also preparing for senatorial elections.
Right.
So what they're saying is that, look, Ebola is now a way of life for us. We're going to stamp out this epidemic, but that does not mean that our whole world comes to a full stop.
Okay.
Even though it is too early to say that the virus is completely on its way out.
Unfortunately, not the same situation in Sierra Leone.
Unfortunately not, because the numbers in Sierra Leone are actually going up. In Liberia, or at least certainly in Monrovia, we're seeing a situation where the numbers of new infections are down. In Sierra Leone, the numbers are going way up. In Guinea, which is ground zero, same thing. So what we're seeing is that at least people are saying, now we have several months of this. We know how to keep ourselves safe from this. Let's not continue to put off life as we know it. We're going to have elections, we're going to get married, we're going to have naming ceremonies. We're just going to be very careful.
Okay, moving right along here. You know, there's certainly ways to deal with crime, especially gangs, but Democratic Republic of Congo is taking this to a new level, I would think.
Well, Kinshasa has always been rumored to be, you know, a bit of a police city and a police state. And now what we're hearing from Human Rights Watch is that the police actually killed 51 people and disappeared 33 others because they were suspected of being gang members. Now, we know that Kinshasa and actually the entire DRC, after many, many decades of lawlessness and coming out of war, has been trying to sort of like have this very squeaky clean image. But Human Rights Watch is saying that their police are now out of control in terms of like just not even giving people an opportunity to be tried in public. If you're found guilty, then be sent away. What happened was that the police allegedly went on a rampage and killed these people. And mothers are saying, our children disappeared. We don't know where they are. We know the police came and took them. Human Rights Watch is saying that they talked to over 100 witnesses. And that these cases they have, the 51 and 33, are the only ones they can document, but they believe there are more. The government is saying that this is under investigation. They're not saying that this has happened yet. Right. But they did expel someone from the United Nations last week who raised similar concerns about this.
In every country, the one thing that's control of power is usually over land. We see it in the Mideast. We're also seeing it in Africa. And it seems like the fabled Maasai are being treated almost like the American Indians here in the United States. Talk to us about this.
Yeah, so in Tanzania, there is a group of people who are trying to buy this huge swath of land, and it seems as if the government of Tanzania has acquiesced to them. And what they want to do with the land is to turn it into a game reserve for Emirati royal families, particularly the royal family from Dubai. They're offering about 40,000 Maasai people not even cash incentive, but they're saying we're going to pump in a billion shillings, which in U.S. currency is about $500,000 in socioeconomic development, to get them out of there before December 31st, so that this 1,500 square feet game reserve can be built for the Emirati royal family. The Maasai people are saying, you made a promise to us. Our mothers, our grandmothers are buried on this land. We're pastoral people. We graze. We don't want development. You can't simply tell us to move away.
I'm going to leave that one alone. I have a lot to say about that, Frankie, but I'm going to leave it alone. Anyway, the bottom line is I want to move on to this last story here.
Yes.
The miniskirt attacks in Kenya. I mean, give me a break. I can understand people might want to be scantily clad, but I understand they were stripping these women, beating them down because they were wearing miniskirts?
Yes, this happened. There were at least 2 occasions where people recorded people on cell phone video in which women had their clothing stripped off of them. And, you know, thank God for technology, because, you know, people were able to record this in public places. And so what happened over the weekend was that there was a huge demonstration of about 200 people, both men and women, saying that this kind of barbaric attacks on women cannot go on. We may want to be, well, we, meaning Kenyans, may want to be a Christian country, but you can't go around attacking women. On the other hand, there was a counter demonstration of about 20 people saying that, Kenya is a Christian country and people need to cover up. The good news coming out of all this is that the Kenyan Vice President, William Ruto, came out and said, this cannot happen. People need to be prosecuted. You can't strip down a woman and tear her clothes up in public, even if you don't believe.
But listen to some of the animation and some of the people there, even other women who were, I mean, my God, I was just quite surprised to see this level of violence in a situation like this.
Well, it's actually, violence against women in Kenya is not something that is new. Unfortunately, because of technology, it is no longer being swept under the rug. And what we're seeing across of East Africa, because we saw this supposed miniskirt ban also next door in Uganda a couple months back, where they actually passed a bill that you can't be scantily dressed. And so what we're seeing is that people are conflating what they believe is their religious moral upbringing with what the law should be. And so people in Kenya are now saying, you cannot do this to women. And not only can you not do this to women, you cannot be allowed to get away with it.
I got to tell you, they better not come to the United States. They start passing out oxygen tanks the way some of these women are
it's too
dressed
cold
here.
over here for us right now.
Right now. Right. Frankie, you're too much.
Thank you, Julian.
Thanks for joining us.
All righty.
Got
Cheers.
it.